So this is the very first tutorial I ever made for the internet, and what I would like to show you is a blend of different techniques. It's Mandelbulb3D mainly, with height maps made in TouchDesigner via Kinect version 2, and with a little bit of help from Blender, but it's any program of choice just for making a PNG sequence. So let me show you what I'm talking about first. This is one of my clips from back in 2016 or 15, something like that. And this is my face here inside of Mandelbulb fractal, as you can see, and it's animated also, like yeah, kind of. You can see it's a shape of a human, but all this animation is me, my hands, my head, my torso. Yeah, anyway, it looks a little bit abstract, but let me show you a better example. Here you can clearly see a head. Yep, this is me inside of the Mandelbulb 3D world. So, first I want to give a shout out to Mandelbulb Maniacs, the Facebook group. Uh, anyway, Maniacs, maybe a lot of you know it. It's like the biggest Mandelbulb 3D group from Facebook for helping me out to figure out that I need to give back something to the community and do this first tutorial. But let's just get started. First things first, don't be afraid to use other software. It's a beginner tutorial, maybe uh, not totally beginner in Mandelbulb. We'll go more fast in that direction, but for the TouchDesigner and Blender part, it's really easy, and you don't need any experience at all. It's ultra beginner. So let's and no money needed. Also, you don't need to pay anything. Uh, but you are free to support TouchDesigner to buy the commercial version. But you can just go to derivative.ca or just type in TouchDesigner, and here it is, same deal. And there's downloads somewhere for sure. uh, I don't know if you have to log in to do that. I think you have to log in, make an account, and then yeah, get it now, download Windows, maybe not make an account, I'm not sure if you're not doing it commercially, but either way it's simple, just download, install. Non-commercial is free only for of course non-commercial projects, but also with some restrictions. Mainly the biggest one is resolution limited to 1280 and 1280, and a lot of people can use it as a HD 720p thing. The Kinect's resolution, actually, what I'm using now is Kinect version 2. Kinect for Windows number 2. The new Kinect Azure, I believe, has a bigger resolution, but I still don't think it's more than 720p. Have to check that, but I'll check it later. But I'm pretty sure it's still a smaller resolution in the depth camera that it has, and the Kinect resolution, I will tell you a little bit more about it very soon. It's something like 512 by 480 something, but TouchDesigner will let us know exactly. I'm not good with numbers actually, and I should be, but computers are very good at knowing numbers, so whatever. So this is TouchDesigner. Of course, you have the non-commercial version if you want the. You don't need the commercial one for now, and let's just get rid of this palette thing, and let's get rid of these example nodes with right clicking and selecting everything, and then just type delete to delete, and double click here, and we will add a Kinect Kinect app in. So this is a Kinect number 1, and we will like to copy it, Control C, Control V, and have the Kinect 2 also. I mean, both of them are Kinect 2, obviously, because this is the only one I'm using, but there's 2 tabs that we're going to need. Maybe this is a bad time to tell you, but we need to first install the Kinect. I forgot to mention this because I already have been using it for a long period of time, and it's very natural for me to have it installed. But yes, you have to, if you have a brand new Kinect, you will need the drivers. So Kinect 2 drivers, or what it's, I think it's called the runtime, and you can just download Kinect for Windows runtime. I'm sorry, people who are on a Mac, this is a Windows only tutorial. I think you can use Kinect in Mac, but I'm not sure how to. Of course, you can use this technique for Kinect 1, 2, or Kinect Azure. Doesn't matter which one you have, because TouchDesigner now supports Kinect Azure 2 in its latest version. And now, once you have, we're back in TouchDesigner, we have Kinect version 1, as I told you. It recognizes it, but if it doesn't, you just switch it. And we have the image here depth, which all is fine, and we need a depth, and now inside of the second one we need a player index, and the player index may not come up right away. You need to move around to let the Kinect know that there's a person there. Yeah, here it is. I'm here, and now it will automatically kind of make a chroma key out of you with its depth capacities, but this chroma key doesn't have all the depth data thing which this has, so we just need to make a simple composite out of these two, but not so simple, because we need a little bit of brightness and contrast adjustment here to make it look nice. So let's add here level, adding stuff, sorry, it's right clicking and this little node out, the out of a node. I think that's a good definition, but not an accurate one. So this little purple thing, and we type here level. Make sure you are at the top section, and you select level, and we put it here. The same here goes for this one, level, or we can just copy this one, and then both of these things we will connect via a composite, which has already a multiply inside, which is fine, and we connect both of these by plugging them in here. But you cannot actually see anything, or it's very faint because of the because of the levels that we did not apply yet. It's ultra faint here, so let's take care of that. Let's bump up the contrast, the gamma, and the brightness here as well. Here we have to bump them all the way up, all of them, brightness, gamma, contrast, make just like a nice wide shape, and this is basically the mask of this. And here we have a depth, we have the depth, which is perfect for what we need in Mandelbulb, because what essentially a height map is taking the white and black values and seeing them as a depth value, which is black is closer and white is further away, or the other way around. You can invert it in Mandelbulb, in the software, or in this software. It doesn't really matter, black and white, which is far, which is near. The important thing is to have this grayscale map to see volume and difference in depth. So maybe a little more contrast. Let's how you like it actually. You can push this. By the way, you move with the mouse wheel up and down. This is pretty basic, but I need to say it for new TouchDesigner users. And left and right, while left clicking, you can navigate through the viewport. And here in this little display dot, you activate it and you see what's happening on the brick screen. Well, I'm pretty satisfied with this, I think. Oh, actually, one thing that you might notice is these little dots here. It's not a perfect chroma key, but to make it a little smoother, we can add a little bit of blur. So you can right click here to add another node inside of this network between these two nodes. So right click, and we add a blur to soften it up, but don't overdo it, because then it makes a weird threshold edge effect that is not. This is what I'm talking about. So yeah, the presets that were here already are perfect, and you can see without or with. It's not a big difference, but yeah, it's a little better. Okay, so let's take this out of TouchDesigner by adding here with right click again another node, this time a movie file out. This is how we will record things. So I still like a little bit more contrast. Yeah, you can see a little better okay, whatever. Or yeah, yeah. Okay, let's just record a little clip of, I don't know, 10 seconds of me raising my hand and waving at you or something. And all these settings are okay. Actually, you can see your FPS here, and you can change it. You can put, it doesn't actually matter that much. I mean, maybe it does, but if we make a crazy Mandelbulb animation, it will not. But I just leave it at 60. Let's put 60 here as well. 60 is a nice frame rate, and we select here where we want to place the video. Yeah, number 2. I made a test right before, and let's hit record. Okay, so I'm recording. Yay, yay, recording. Yes, I don't know what I'm doing, but here it is, recording. Yeah. Okay. Um, well, this is it with TouchDesigner. We can exit. It was so simple. People believe that if this is a Mandelbulb3D type of tutorial, people will, oh my God, TouchDesigner, no, a new software. I cannot deal with that. But guys, this was easy. It's like an injection for a little child. It's like it went away so easily. Now we can go back to our beautiful fractal environment, but no, we have one more step to do. We have to make a PNG sequence. I'm sorry, another small step to go, but I promise you it will be almost as easy or even easier. It's called Blender, and if you don't know about it, it's an awesome open source software that's taking over the internet here. It's crashing part of the Cinema 4D and Max Public, and it's a great 3D software, but we're today going to use it just for some basic video editing. Actually, it's more converting a video. It's for something very basic, but you can do amazing stuff in it. You can put even OBJs that were made in Mandelbulb with bulb tracer inside and make realistic lighting and to make it look a little better than a little different, not better than Mandelbulb. And you can find it at blender.org and download it for free. Again, it's open source, like I told you. You just download it and it works. You don't. I know that some versions that you don't even need to install. You can either install or just download the full zip and just run the exe directly, which is great. So let's go into Blender, and what we need now to do is maybe I didn't make myself super clear. It's make a PNG sequence out of the video that we recorded with TouchDesigner, because Mandelbulb3D only sees image sequences, not a video, which would be nice to actually drag and drop a video in Mandelbulb, but it's still an awesome program, so it doesn't matter. It's what we have. Let's work with it. So this is the video that we recorded actually to understand that it works, and it worked, of course. And now let's create a folder. We have this number 2 folder, and we are here to go inside of Blender, and we go to new and video editing. Here we need to find the video. It's not in C, it's in my X drive. Kinect Mandelbulb3D number 2, and we just drag and drop it here. Anyway, this thing you can do with any video editing software, doesn't matter, but this one is free. It's so easy to get. It's just snap. Okay, so what we have here is ending frame is 250. We have this is 250 here in between this and this, but we need all the way here. Maybe, I don't know, we may need a smaller one. You can cut it here. There's a lot of video editing tutorials online on Blender. I don't need to go into this, but let's say we need all the video. And we will just turn up the end frame here to which one, whether it's this one, but yeah, around here. And so we have about 880 frames and 60 frames per second, but it doesn't matter because we're going to make a PNG sequence, so forget about that. And here at the output we select the folder we want to export it in, and we will select that that number 2 folder that we created, accept, and just start rendering. Render here and render an animation. Super simple, no? Yeah, so you can see here sequence rendering. It's oh, made a mistake, sorry guys. I don't think Blender does recognize the resolution so easily, so you need to tell him what this video is all about. And let's go back to TouchDesigner just for a minute and understand how you can find the resolution, or you can just go back to your movie clips here and to the place where we saved the movie clip, and just properties, and see that it's 512 by 424. This is what the Kinect 2 depth resolution is. The Kinect one has a different one, Azure has a different one, and we can find out also this in TouchDesigner, I guess, with simple adding Kinect and just push here with push on the depth image with a middle mouse, and you'll have here size 512 by 424. Yeah, so you can never, if you always forget like I do, it's super simple to have the info here. So back to Blender, 512, and of course I already forgot because I don't like to put any numbers in my head, but this one might actually not be so important because I'm going towards the Kinect Azure. Hopefully I'll buy it really soon. And 424. Okay, render animation. Now it's going much faster. Of course you can make it better resolution with like gigapixel AI or video enhancer AI, or other software that enlarge images to make it smooth and shiny, and but I will not get into that. And it's sometimes glitchy low-res HeightMaps make some very interesting results inside of Mandelbulb. So let's just go to Mandelbulb and see what's happening. Finally, the beautiful stage where we make something shiny, maybe colorful if you like colorful stuff. Anyway, so Mandelbulb3D, let's start by just adding a nice formula. The boxes formula, for instance, you can have very easy nice results, like anything you'd like, just any amazing box. Let's click it. We don't see anything, but inside of the navigator, if we mess around with the scale, we see stuff. And now view to main. I'm sorry, I'll go a little faster inside of Mandelbulb because it is a beginner tutorial with the other softwares, but again, I need you to know a little bit about Mandelbulb. It's not the most beginner Mandelbulb tutorial, but you can follow along pretty easily. So we have this fractal. It's simple. It's a simple fractal. but this is not the scope of this tutorial to make something wow. Just make it work, and you do the wow in your free time or in your work time, hopefully. So formula number 2, and HeightMap. Let's just type map. There's plenty of maps, then there's plenty of tutorials about them, and I wanted to let you know that this big shout out to Brad, I think it's his name, HeightMap tutorial animated. Yeah, how to use a HeightMap here. Brad Stefanov, great guy. I saw a lot of his posts in Mandelbulb Maniacs. Hope he's still around. And I remember this in the day he published it in 2015. I was so excited to know about animated height maps, and this tutorial is definitely inspired by him. So I'll go pretty fast. If you want to know more about it, I think I'll cover most of what he's telling, but in a faster way. We have the fractal. We'll type in here in the formula to the name map to have height maps, and let's take the easiest one, height map ifs, which is just a basic plane which you grow the height of the height map you have accordingly. So height map number, we don't have a basic map number like in the color map section where you have in the Mandelbulb folder. We have to create a special one, and you go to the preferences and the map sequence, I'm sorry, and we need a new sequence, and we find it, number 2, open up any of them. We just push on the first one, open. That's the Romanian for opening. It was the skize, but it doesn't matter. It will be open for your software in your language of choice. Here you don't need to mess around, but target map slot, you just need to put a number that you will not forget, a number that is not doesn't have any other color map that you might use in your specific project, because here inside of your Mandelbulb folder you have the 3D map, M3 maps, which come with Mandelbulb3D, or you can add your custom ones, but and as you can see you can add height maps as well, but here you make a special one, and I name it 22 because I don't have here nothing named 22. So save and exit, and here we have formula 1 and formula 2, fractal and map. We have alternate here, but alternate does not work with maps, so we go to decombinate and then we hit calculate, and bang, nothing apparently much happens. But if we go to the navigator and we hit parameters and we zoom out with letter S, and I won't get into the navigation, you can see other tutorials, but yeah, we're navigating and trying to zoom out because we will see a tiled version of the height map of the Kinect, and messing around with the scale, we can turn off the fractal, the scale of the amazing box here in the formulas tab of the navigator, and zoom more and see the whole fractal. But I understand now what is happening. I forgot to put the slot, the correct slot in the map number. It was 10, just a random color map, but I will switch it to 22 with the one that we the custom one we made. It was before that it was just a color ramp that was making some random displacements, but now we have the correct one. We can also type here in map number. It has the same effect, but we are working in the navigator now. We can work there or here, and now it should make the correct effect, but we cannot see it because we don't have a corresponding height. We go to the height map parameters and we go to the H scale, because H scale is the how powerful the height map is. And if we go up, you can see the controls are inverted, and if we go backwards to minus, it has the correct height. Of course, you can have some pretty weird results with going forward to having like backwards image carved into the plane. But let's go back to the normal height, and we can see now my body on the field of fractals. And yeah, we need to position this body more into the center, because that's where the fractal action is happening. So for that we need to use the offset, and the offset, basically the position is the offset for the non-English speakers, and we non-native ones that have troubles with weird synonyms, we will offset it by X direction, and firstly the scale, let's use the scale to make it bigger, and it's again inverted. I don't know why in Mandelbulb you have to type a smaller value to make it bigger. So let's go to 0.1 and 0.1 and now position the map accordingly with X and Y position, offset, whatever. Why are there two, offset and position? Why don't you just use position, man? Anyway, so this is the the centered view. Let's go back to view to main, calculate the shading and everything. And there's a lot of light, too much light. Let's fix that in lightning, and intensity, less intensity, play around a little bit, and yeah, try to do something nice. Again, this is just a test. I will teach you how to use the hammer but not build a house. But let's play around a little bit with the parameters of the amazing box and make something at least a tiny ounce of funky. So let's make more height with the H offset. With the H offset, not make more height, but bring it further into the camera space and actually see it. So H offset is just like the Z position, and the H scale is the how deep it is carved, or how far away it goes in the height as a bump, as a height, not as a bump, but that's a 3D term. So let's go back and add another formula, try to make it a little more punky. So in the third slot, let's just pick something random, another box like box Cali, and to mix free formulas, you need to also put the third formula inside of the second slot to have two fractal formulas, and then the height map in the last position. So we need to have this arrangement with red arrows, and tell Mandelbulb that we need 3 formulas. Okay, we're set, and calculate. Okay, so nothing happened because of the scale of the amazing box for sure. And let's mess around with some parameters until we get some fractal shapes. Yeah. Well, again, this is not building a house tutorial. This is a how to use a hammer tutorial. Or I'm just a shitty artist, and this is just what we're going to work with right now. But again, there are a lot of tutorials out there about height maps. You just need to figure out how to make it wow, and I'm here to just initiate the process, and you can change the mixing modes, but honestly, the max one, for instance, you just carve out the height map, and you get more of the fractal. But mean lean, for instance, this one is an interesting one that combines all three in a more homogeneous way. This is pretty weird looking. Let's go for that. Let's just get an animation going, and yeah, let's try to do something at least 1% decent. Play around some more. This is what Mandelbulb is all about, trying to come up with a crazy looking thing out of chaos. So yeah, not really happy with the result, but it's 5 in the morning, and the sun will rise soon, and this is all I got. It will be just a test, or a shitty piece of art in the best case scenario. Yeah. Really down with the enthusiasm here, but this looks funky, like an ant shape kind of guy. But we'll fix it. We'll fix it. It looks like Spider-Man is having a rough day fighting coronavirus. Yeah. So, what can we do here? Make him more pretty. Spidey, Spidey. Maybe let's put some different lights, the different colors. We go here for a color map, yeah, and we just go into that folder of things, and they're all numbered, the color maps, and we just go and find something random. I don't color most of my fractals. I just by hand, by picking colors, I just pick random sets of colors here, and you can make them in other software as well. And let's find this. I'm not happy with this result. Let's just try to find another formula, and see what's happening. By the way, I am at these two. You can find me on Facebook, you can find me on Instagram with Art, and YouTube and Vimeo and whatever with fractal art and procedure stuff. And yeah, trying this IQ paint is not very wise of me to try a new formula that I never used before. It's during a live tutorial. It's don't do this at home. No, don't, don't. Yes, this is clearly not the best looking HeightMap experience, but you know, you have to have inspiration, you don't have to be tired, you have to believe it. Hmm. Anyway, just type HeightMap tutorial and you can get wonderful ideas out of these wonderful artists that really do crazy stuff. And yeah, you have a world of possibilities of making it really beautiful. But this is just a technique. um, Go to artisto.ro arrow from Romania, and you can find that stuff when I'm not tired that look decent and not totally crappy. This is such a fun way of seeing that sometimes in Mandelbulb it's you play luck. It's like with poker, there's some techniques, but you also have to have the vibe for it. And I had the vibe of making a tutorial and being chill out and so on, and I not have the art vibe right now, as you can clearly see. But I'm almost done explaining the technical parts, and we'll get inside of doing the animation. You can also use any kind of photos. You won't have the real depth of it, but you can get some funky looking stuff. I did a bunch of like cat height maps, and also for building video mapping, video mapping buildings. You can get a height map from an image of the building, or from a vector map of it, and yeah, make a fractal building. Did once that for a competition, or maybe twice even. Yeah, it's fun. Anyway, this looks like something, I guess. um, Play around with the colors. Whoops. Yeah, this was nice. Yeah, color ramping, and this is not the animation part I was talking about, but we could animate this offset of the color map parameter as well as the height map animation, which we need to get into, as Brad also said in this tutorial. We have the frame number, which is 1 right now, but we can go to frame number, let's say 500. We had around 800 frames, but let's just go for a 500 animation because it's enough. It's a lot of render time even for a small resolution. Yeah, working very slowly. Yeah, and let's let's see that this is a different frame, completely different frame. I'm out of the bounds a little bit, but let's go back to frame number 1 and start keyframing the animation. Let's mess around. Maybe it's little bit of different light. I'm still not satisfied, but again, hi guys, this is a hammer tutorial. um, be aware of just using the hammer, right? Okay, now this is the first frame. We selected it to drop inside of the animation tab, the animation window, and now we go back to frame 533. The 500, I typed 500, yeah, and we'll change a little bit the amazing box settings, play around, the most spoken phrase of the morning is starting to light up the sky. Yeah, and the height map, let's bump the depth to see the character better, the me, and zoom out, make a little camera pan up. My head is right inside of this cube. It's an insult to call this a cube, of course. It's a fractal, don't call me cube. I'm some, yeah, the geometry space is bigender, is blurry gender. It's, yeah, you have to have political correctness in mathematical terms, because yeah, people will comment with hate and will burn you on the stakes. Yeah, this looks half decent now, 2% decent, but let's go with it. It's a guy with holes, and a different kind of light to have the animation, different kind of color um, offset to have another animation, and we will go for these nice settings, except for output folder, of course. Select where we want to drop our biscuits, our JPEGs, and we will specify that we want JPEG, because I like my free space. I like my hard drive to be cool. Oh, and yeah, we need to specify it as 500 frames and 0 frames at the end, because we don't want a repetition. So we want only 500 between those frames and this JPEG setting. Yes, so start render from 1 to end. That's good, everything is good. The width of the image and the height, let's take it from what we render, because it looks okay. It's 720, the resolution that we got from the other window that we worked in. And now we can start the animation, which will take some time. So after 2 or 3 hours of rendering, we have this shitty animation, extremely crappy, but it's a proof of concept that we can have a depth map inside of Mandelbulb3D. There's a guy, there's fractals, it happened. The rest is up to you. This is just a test. I don't like how it turned out, but it works. It works. So let's patch these things up. Maybe some of you know already how to create a video out of an image sequence, but for those of you who don't, or try to find a nice, easy, free alternative, there's again Blender, and we go back to Blender, hit again new video editing, and we go to add, image sequence, find our crappy images, and hit A to select everything, and then add image strip. And there we have it here. Again, the timeline is not covering the end frame is to 250, and it's a bigger video, so we must raise this number to around here. And you can see the video running, and there's actually some cropping here. I was so tired when I did this, I actually went to sleep and while rendering, and yeah, we didn't even center this well, and you can see the hand going out of bounds here. So maybe we can fix this a little bit. Before everything, we can add an FX strip of transform. This is how you scale a video inside of Blender. You had to have this selected. I think I already had it, or it was the only clip here. And once you have it selected, you add a transform strip. And in the transform strip, you can have here scale, like uniform scale, but maybe let's just scale it because it's trippy, and just scale it a little bit on the x-axis, and maybe reposition it more to the center. Maybe too much scale. Yeah, pretty okay. This last image here, it's kind of nice. The rest is kind of crap, but let's see. So back to the scene. The dimensions are not these ones. The dimensions are these ones, 969 on 720. So 969 720, and here let's say 30 frames per second. Usually I go to 60, but we render just a few frames, so let's go for 30. And we rendered actually 500 exact frames, not 501. I just eyeball it, but it's 500 now, I remember. And here in file format, there is this I think default PNG, so you didn't have to change this for uh, the beginning of the tutorial. When we made the inverse thing, we exported to PNG sequence, and now we are importing JPEG sequence, and we want to export a video. So let's go for a video format. Um, let's go for FFmpeg video, and you can change medium quality, high quality. Let's just go with the good and medium quality, and the basic bitrate settings, but you can change a bunch of stuff if you want your video more high quality or less. So let's go for the render. Output in the same folder to make everything neat and tidy. Let's add a new folder, or exactly in the main folder, final animation, even though this doesn't look like a final animation at all. So we were render animation. Yeah, so width not divisible by 2. Yeah, yeah, this is a crazy resolution actually. It was a crazy random resolution that we just didn't care because we wanted to make a test. But usually you use a normal resolution like 1920 on 180 or 1280 on 720, like Full HD or HD. But this is just weird, and apparently Blender doesn't like uneven resolutions. So let's just take a pixel out and do it like this. But of course, I recommend you use the normal resolutions, or if you are a crazy artist who really needs to express himself through very strange resolutions, go right ahead, because I went into that scene a few times, and yeah, why not do it if you like it, but in Blender keep in mind you need even resolutions. Okay, so render animation, bang, 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 bang. Anyway, if you want another type of effect, a more smooth depth map, you can go back to TouchDesigner and remake the map using another one of those blur tops, and you add it at the end to make it smooth and not so pixelated. But this raw pixelation is pretty interesting. It looks kind of sci-fi from time to time. I like it. Let's see what happened. We have final animation. So let's see. Crappy. Yeah, but it's moving, but it's crappy, but it's moving, and it works. You're in the wild mathematical planes, dancing in success and in pity of your poor aesthetic. Well, yeah, that's it. You can do a lot of more crazy stuff with HeightMaps. You can put buildings and everything inside. I can show you another example. Mm, to just make you understand that I don't do so so crappy things all the time. This is just a learning process. I'm highlighting this. So with a lot of effort into colors and into space and into the project that you are working on with your client or with the environment you're working, you can get interesting results. So for instance, you can fly to a wall full of height maps. This is a building in Romania, and yeah, I will leave you with this last part. This is one of my favorite height maps in Mandelbulb, made in around 2016. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something, and maybe I'll see you next time if I have something interesting to say. I don't know. Let's see.